Hardworking.
Probably like motivated.
He's loyal.
He's outgoing.
Hardworking. Let's see here, persistent.
A quick thinker. I know it's 2 words, but put it together and it's one.
He's transparent and he's loyal.
I'd say he's honest as well.
Creative, I would say creative.
Inspiring.
He's pretty courageous, like he's not afraid to do things.
Hungry.
My name is Shay. You're at Owyhee Produce, and we do everything from asparagus to watermelons. We wish we did zucchini so we could say A to Z. This particular facility, we're doing onions. We do about 2 million 50-pound bags a year that go all over the United States and into Mexico and Canada. I'm 3rd generation, and really, really glad to be back on the farm.
So I think Shay is very passionate about as far as creating like a legacy for the farm. So the farm was started by his great-grandpa Owen, and I think he's very passionate about continuing on that legacy, but then also providing education in itself to other people about farming and about what it really entails.
So Shay spends a lot of his time on the internet, not just creating content, but also viewing other people's content. He sees a big need for education, but he also wants to be educated himself.
So picking asparagus is a little bit more complicated than you think. Let me pick a little bit of this, and I'll come up and show you what I mean. If you notice, I'm not picking everything as I go. I'm actually leaving some behind. The reason is, the asparagus has to be the right length. It also has to be the right diameter. It seals off and prevents the stalk from dehydrating and damaging the roots that are underneath the ground. There's an Asparagus 101. See you guys later.
So he just started going out there and just putting himself out there and just started trying to just educate and let people know like what the harvest process was, how we do things. He just felt like people were kind of disconnected to how their food grows, where it comes from, how it's processed, what the process is, and how it gets to their table.
I would say Shay is passionate about agriculture, right? He wants to inform the public and everybody about agriculture. And I'd also say that he's also passionate about onions and the shed, right?
So I started trying to educate on a very, like the minutia, very detailed basis about onions. Okay, I wanted the customers that I thought I was selling to understand, you know, defects or quality concerns or varieties or this kind of thing. And what happened is I put that content out for a couple of years, and then eventually I was at a dinner meeting with a new buyer, an onion buyer, and I was showing him pictures and showing him the content that I was creating. And during the course of that conversation, he said, "Hey, can you show me the tree that the onions grow on?" That was the aha moment that I said to myself, it can't be, this is not about the minutia. This is not about the details. This is about the farming 101.
Hey guys, Shay with the Owyhee. Why do we store onions? Why do we put them in storage? Why are fruits and vegetables put in storage in the United States? Well, we live in North America, guys. We're not close to the equator. We have to store our fruits and vegetables so that we have them later. They're not always a year old. Right now, when you go to the grocery store and you buy an onion, and right now by the 1st of October, I mean, your onions are coming straight out of the field. And that will be the case for another 2 or 3 weeks. And then we'll start pulling onions out of storage. So
I'm living in a town with 3,000 people in it, right? And so when you have something that's being seen by 3 or 4 million people, it's hard to even understand what that means. But I think when it really started to mean something for me is when I would look at like the Nielsen's ratings for the number of people watching a basketball game or a football game, and the number of views that I was getting on a video in some cases was significantly more than the number of people watching something like that. And then you're like, okay, wow, this is meaningful.
Part of it is hard sometimes to understand, right? Because it's definitely not what most farmers do. So it is very unique that way. But then, for example, like we just went to Florida, right, to PMA, and a lot of people came up and they knew him just from like his videos.
I think he best represents the award because he is always working on connecting people to ag. He sees a big need for bridging the gap between consumers and producers, and a fun way to do that is through social media. And he's found a really unique way to be successful at that, but he also sees a need for bringing people to the farm.
He always shares here and asks, you know, what would people be interested in? Oh my gosh, I got to come up with something, you know, new that people might be interested in or need to know.
I think he's really tried hard to inform the public, right? That's why I think he deserves the award, because he's posted a lot and he goes out and tries to inform people, not just on social media, but he goes to events and things like that to inform people.
The appreciation and the reception of the content has been overwhelming, and the opportunities that I've had to, you know, do things like this or to be on the national press and to speak for farmers across the country has been well worth the effort.
I really, really honestly enjoy working with him and being a part of where he is and who he is and where he's going, whether he, you know, wins awards or not. So I really do. I'm here because of that.
I don't think he often understands that many of us see the sacrifices he makes to be successful, not just as a business and not just at creating content, but in his entirety, like with family and with everything in his life. He works hard at it, and I think thanking him for showing us that hard work and dedication can really pay off, but to have fun while doing it.
And do you want to do what your dad does when you grow up?
That's like my second resort.
What do you want to do when you grow up then?
I want to be an NFL player.
Okay, I'm an NFL player. Second choice is
Farming.